Hey there, Bobby Klink from Your Online Genius here with today's video where we're going to be talking about the legal implications of being authentic and why you need to make sure that you are authentic and being yourself and not someone else on social media from a legal perspective. Now, it's obviously good advice on a business perspective, but it also has really important implications from a legal perspective. So I wanted to address those quickly today. And there's a couple of different areas we're going to talk about. Before we get there, I wanted to remind you who I am. I'm Bobby Klink. I'm an intellectual property lawyer who works with online entrepreneurs. Really, I am an online entrepreneur more than anything else now. But what I do is help online entrepreneurs to protect their online businesses and make sure that they've got the protection in place that they need so that they don't have to worry about problems, don't have to worry about issues. They can just go about building their businesses using the best possible tools without having to worry about legal implications of it. So that's what I do. The company, Your Online Genius, was born out of my experience as a lawyer at a law firm where I kept seeing problems come up over and over again, where online entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs had made mistakes, and they'd made them at a point early on where I got it. I mean, they couldn't justify hiring me or another lawyer by the hour early on because, look, we're expensive. I mean, lawyers are not a cheap affair. And so I kept seeing these errors come up that were really devastating businesses down the line. So I wanted to find a way to help entrepreneurs, and especially online entrepreneurs, solve their problems early on, kind of a do-it-yourself model. And so that's what Your Online Genius is about. We provide free resources. We provide, checklists. We provide cheat sheets. We provide master classes. We provide, paid courses. We're building out form banks. So there will be forms that you can use, you can buy and basically use and customize for your purpose. So that's what the business is about. And so the idea is, hey, let's make it possible and let's make law and these legal issues accessible to people before they can justify hiring a lawyer like me. So that's the point of the business. So again, this week, our theme is all about social media. We're dealing with social media issues and legal issues that can come up. Today, what I want to discuss is the importance from a legal perspective of being authentically you. And I use that because the word being authentic is something that obviously we've all heard about, in social media. I mean, we're supposed to be ourselves, not put on, fake notions of who we are and pretend to be someone we're not. That's kind of what social media is all about, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. So I use that term because hopefully it resonates with you, but there are also legal implications. And some of them are obvious, and I hope if you're watching this, you're not one of these people, but you shouldn't be impersonating someone else online or another company intentionally. You shouldn't be pretending to be someone else. That's illegal for a couple of reasons. You're infringing a lot of rights. You're infringing the publicity rights and the trademark rights of that other person or the company, and publicity rights, which we talked about earlier this week, give everybody the right to control their name, image, and likeness. So if you are using someone else's name intentionally and it's not your name, you are intentionally violating those rights, and that would be wrong. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that issue because, look, hopefully if you're here, you're not someone who's out there intentionally doing these kinds of things. And my goal is to help educate people so that they don't inadvertently make mistakes. It's not about people who would be out there intentionally doing these things. The big issue on, that I'm going to wrap into the authenticity issue here is that you have to be careful not to use a name on social media that is trademarked elsewhere. And let me talk about that for a moment. Trademark law protects branding information. So it protects names, it protects slogans, it protects logos, it protects anything that designates where a product or service is coming from. So let's talk about Nike as an example. I always use them as an example because everyone will understand. The word Nike is a name. That is a trademark name. The swoosh symbol is their logo. That is a protected trademark logo. And the phrase, just do it, that's a slogan that is also trademarked. And people will immediately recognize the name, the slogan, and the logo If you see it on a shirt, for example, you immediately know, oh, that's Nike. That shirt is from Nike, the brand. So that's an idea of what trademark controls. Now, the importance from the social media perspective is that a lot of people just go and try to find a catchy social media handle. And they might get one that's available, but the problem is it might be a name that actually is associated with another brand. And you have to be careful not to do that. Now, most brands, most online entrepreneurs are going to be covering some of the basic social media accounts, right? I mean, so Facebook probably, they're on Facebook. Most companies are, obviously, at this point. But some of the other ones aren't. And I'll use my company as an example. So I have, for Your Online Genius, I have a Twitter, which is complicated because Your Online Genius is too long to actually fit with the handle. But so I have an account there. I have an account on Facebook, which obviously you're watching this here. But then I also have my personal, I guess it is, Instagram account. I'm using my Your Online Genius as the name. But I'm not on Pinterest, for example, because I just haven't thought about it yet. It's not something that's part of my current business strategy. And that's common with a lot of businesses. So if you were to go onto Pinterest and wanted to open an account under the name of Your Online Genius, and maybe you're doing it purely without even knowing about my company. And if you did that, the problem is that if you just started it today, well, I have the right to use Your Online Genius. And I have the right to stop anyone from using that name in a way that might confuse consumers. Well, if you start a Pinterest account and you're in any way related to online entrepreneurship, guess what? I'm going to have a good argument. But I'm not on Pinterest today, right? So I'm probably not going to hear about it today because, I'm not going to see it. I don't know that I have a lot of followers who are on Pinterest who would reach out to me. So I'm not going to find out about it. And you are going to go about building your business, building that social media account, for example. And so if you do that, what's going to happen? Well, let's say 6 months from now or a year from now, I decide I want to be on Pinterest for one reason or another. Or I built up a huge following and one of my clients, customers, followers says, hey, by the way, is this you on Pinterest? It doesn't seem like you. And then I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. Well, guess what? At that point, I'm going to send you a letter. And I'm going to tell you that I have the trademark name and that you can't use it. And then you're going to have to stop using that name. And so that's the problem. And that's what will happen. And again, some of the social media accounts, obviously, you can change your name. And so that's not too big of a problem. But even if for ones where you can change your name and not have to lose all of your followers, well, guess what? All of the links you have out in the world are no longer good. They're going to be gone. All of these references to it, et cetera, will not be good because you've lost that traction. So you need to be careful about it. So what you need to do is before you pick a social media handle, again, and this is most often going to happen if you are, let's say, a solopreneur or early on and just thinking about a brand and trying to use it, well, you need to actually do a trademark search. And I know that sounds scary. That sounds like, ooh, I don't want to have to do that. But you need to, because you don't want to build a brand with your social media that then can be taken away from you. And so what do you need to do to run that search? Well, there's a couple things. One, obviously you got to search the social media sites, and you should search all of them. An easy way to do that, and that adds in another piece of searching domain names, is to go to a service like Namevine. That's a place you type in a domain name, and it will tell you, hey, is that domain available? But it'll also tell you, are the social media handles available? So you can see, I think it's 8 or 9 of the most popular sites right away, quickly. Is anybody using it? And if you do that search and you see that someone's using it on some of the social media sites, you really ought to look at it and say, hey, are they using this as a commercial brand? And if so, you're going to have some problems. So you shouldn't use it. You need to go a step further, though. Go onto Google, type in the name, and go multiple pages deep and just see what you find. If you find someone using it and it's any way related to what you're doing, again, you're going to have trouble. And this is, there's obviously business issues with it because you don't want people to be confused. You want people to be able to find your business, but there are also the legal issues that you need to avoid, and you can run into problems. the final step, is to search for registered trademarks. And that is going to sound scary because it sounds like law, and it kind of is, but it's not that scary. You can go to the United States Patent and Trademark Office's website, and that's uspto.gov. And then there's a tab there for trademarks. Click on that, and there's a system called TESS, T-E-S-S. I think it's Trademark Electronic Search something, but you search that database and you can search words and just see if anyone has registered a trademark. Again, if you did that right now with Your Online Genius, or if you just went and typed Online Genius, you would then find my trademark, that I have a trademark application pending for Your Online Genius. And so you would then have to think, okay, well, am I going to run into trouble? And you can do that. My advice to you, again, if you're just starting out, you want to avoid any potential dispute because you don't want to have to fight it, because you can't afford to pay me $100,000 or more to defend you later. So you want to avoid it. So if any of these searches, the internet, so searching Google, searching social media, or searching the patent office's database comes up with the name or anything close to the name, my suggestion to you, change it. Pick a different name, find something truly unique, and then go from there. That is going to be your best bet to avoid a legal dispute, and how you can avoid getting into a fight with someone who's claiming you are, taking their brand away from them, and do it. So again, that is my advice to you today. That's how you should consider it, in my view, because again, that's how you can avoid having to spend money on people like me now and in the future. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to be back. Tomorrow's Friday. I can't believe it. So we'll be dealing with the final lesson about social media. That one is going to deal with a couple of related issues. It has to do with kind of restrictions you need to have on your employees who are dealing with your social media. So if you have someone who's controlling your social media, it's limitations you need to put on them to make sure that you are protected in various ways. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. Until then, I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you are enjoying this, again, I have a free cheat sheet where I talk about the 4 biggest mistakes that I see online entrepreneurs make generally. You'll hear some aspects of that are related to the lessons we've talked about with social media, but they're kind of the broader prospects or broader issues. And you can get your hands on that cheat sheet at mistakes.youronlinegenius.com. Again, mistakes.youronlinegenius.com, and you'll get that free cheat sheet. So until tomorrow, I hope you have a great day. Thanks.